everyone, Tracy here with Paper Closet Designs. In today's video, I'm sharing a new file for some ornament boxes. These are for Christmas ornaments, and I have two different ones. Actually, I have a bunch of them, but there's two different types. So this first one is for a ball ornament that measures about 3 inches. You could go a little smaller or a little bigger. It's really hard to see with the way the light is shining, but this is a floating ornament. And what's nice about this one is you can lift the lid and it has the guide up on top that protects your ornament from rolling around. So there's a better, maybe. And then on the bottom, it also has a stand so that it holds your ornament up and you can see it in the window. If you have a large one, you don't need to use this piece. So I'm going to show you how to do that one. And then I have another ornament box that is the flat box, and this will hold up to a 3.5-inch ornament. And it also has the stand, so if you have a larger or thicker ornament, you don't need this. You can just put it in this box. But then I will show you a couple of options. So I have these layered 3D ornaments, and you can get these files as well. And so those will fit in here. Or if you like to do the acrylic with the vinyl on one side or both sides, and I will have the files for these as well. I have a couple of them, Joy to the World and Merry Christmas. And they also fit right in here. What's nice for these is you have your little thumb hole, and so you can put your string right down in there, and you can even tape it to the back so that it doesn't move. And then you have this little box that is perfect for presenting a Christmas ornament to a neighbor or a friend. If you do an ornament exchange, you might want to have something like this. The other reason I really like these is you can store your ornaments. Besides doing a family exchange, every year when we travel, we pick up an ornament everywhere that we go. And I like to put the date and where we went and everything on the box, and that way when we are pulling them out and decorating the tree, I have all the information written on the back of the box of where that was. Perhaps it was a baby or a grandbaby being born, a graduation that we're celebrating, a wedding, and I can keep them in something special and they don't get broken. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with this one first, this flat one or square one. And for this one, I actually used some printed digital paper that I had. This is from the Christmas floral paper set from Paper Closet Designs. So let me show you what is in this file, and then we'll go ahead and build it. So first you'll have this clear piece, and on your file it's a light gray, and it is just acetate for the back of your window. You don't have to use this. Most likely your ornament is going to be big enough that it's not going to fall out of that window. So you don't have to have this, but if you want to, it's just acetate. And if you can't find thin acetate, you can also use the plastic cover on your mats. I just take them off and cut them up. And you can either do it with a paper cutter or your machine will cut it just fine. So that's your first piece, and it is going to be light gray in your file. We have a frame for the lid. This one has your holly berries and holly. So 2 leaves and 3 berries. We have the base that goes inside your box. We have your lid. Oh, I cut out 2 bases because I wasn't sure what color I was going to do. I think I'll do this cream one. And then you have your bottom. And like I said, these have been printed with just some digital paper. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this first, and there's a bunch of score lines. I'm going to fold everything down. So on these fatter tabs, there's 2 score lines, and that is to give your box a little bit of strength. I'm going to fold those tabs down, and these actually, if you use a bone folder, and just really smooth them out, you'll get a better box. And fold that. Okay, this is another one, the other long tab that has 2 score lines. And then this. Okay, so what we're going to do is it's facing up, right side up, and we're going to put glue or tape on these tabs. When I'm doing boxes, I prefer to use glue, but for the video, I'm going to go ahead and use tape just because it doesn't take as long to dry. I'm just going to add some tape to each of these little tabs. And then before I fold it, I'm going to flip it over, and these last 2 right here on the longer ends, we're going to put tape all the way down those sides. Most of my boxes, lidded boxes, are constructed this way because it gives them some strength. Okay, we're going to fold this tab in and bring this tab over, so the one that has the extra piece goes on the top or the outside. You're just going to match that up, give it a good press so that you get that nice sharp corner. Do the same thing over here. Fold the tab under the piece that has the extra. Flip it around, do one more time. And then this last one. The inside of my box is white because I printed this off of my printer. Works great, but you could get it out of any solid color like I did on these. Then we're going to take these 2 longer flaps and we're going to fold them over. And I found it's easiest if you lay it down on the table and just press with your fingers. And that is going to make that box a little bit sturdier on the outside. Okay, the next piece we're going to do is the stand, the inside stand, and we're just going to fold those 4 lines, 4 score lines down. This piece does not get glued. It just simply, you're going to open those up and it's going to slide right into the bottom of the box. And again, this is an optional piece. If your ornament is thicker, you may not want this piece. But I like it because it lifts it up and you can see it really good in the window. Okay, just like that. Then we have the lid, and it has the window cut out. And we're going to take everything and score it down. So all the tabs. It also has the thumb holes. And again, because I just printed this from digital paper, it's white on the back. And that is fine because really you're not going to see it until you open the box. Okay, before we glue this, we want to flip it over so the back side is pointing up, and we're going to take our little acetate window, and if you're using this, you're going to want to tape it in here. Glue does not hold these very well, and the easiest way I have found to do it is to just get your tape runner and go all the way around. And then fit your acetate right inside. And it's not quite as big as the lid, so it should not cover any of your score lines. Once that's down, you're going to flip it over and we're going to put tape on these 4 tabs right here. And you know what? They are kind of tiny, so for this one, I am going to use my glue because I don't want to tear these off as I'm running my tape runner across it. So then we're just going to fold it down, give it a good corner just like on the bottom. And because I'm using glue, you're going to have to hold it for just a second. Depends on your glue, how long it takes to dry. And I don't usually put my lids on if they've been glued together with glue until that glue is dry. Because the lids are just a hair tight. They're supposed to be so the lid doesn't fall off. But if you put it on while that glue is dry, they may pop open. Okay, so there's our lid. Next up is the frame. And this is not going to actually be glued on to the acetate. It's going to go right on top of the circle or the window. So I can go ahead and glue this one as well because it's kind of tiny. And I'm just going to put some dots all the way around. Does not have to be perfect. Whoops, it's a good thing because it's not. Flip it over, make sure that that frame, the inner circle, lines up with the window. And now I can add my leaves and holly berries. And you can put them wherever you want. You could put them on the top. I'm going to put it in the corner. Oops. And you want to make sure that you're gluing it to the paper because, like I said, it's not going to really glue very well to the acetate. And then I'm going to add my berries. And I just kind of put them randomly so they cover up. Whoops, that one stuck to my finger. I get so messy doing these videos. But anyway, I just put them on there randomly so they kind of cover the tail end of the leaves. Oh my goodness. There we go. Just like that. Let's see if that's dry enough. We want to put it in our box. And there you go. Perfect little box for your flat or somewhat thin ornaments. Okay, let's move on to the other one. And this one is also the printed. And I'm going to do it in the off-white, the cream, and I hope that you can see what I'm doing. So first off, you will have 3 pieces that kind of look like stars. This is the very bottom of the stand, and this one is the top of the stand, the one that has the circle. This is what's going to hold your ornament. This is for the top of the box, and this piece that's kind of a star is going to hold the top of your ornament so it doesn't slide around. You will have 2 pieces that make the box. So this is the front. It has the little thumbnail and the full bottom piece. And then this is your bottom or your back, and it has the lid. So the first thing we're going to want to do is score everything down to the desk. And I would really suggest using a bone folder. I thought I had one out here. So on the lid, we're going to press everything down. On the bottom, we're going to fold those 3 tabs in. And then we have another tab here on the side. Then we have 2 more score lines that give this box kind of a hexagon shape. Okay, so once those are all folded, we're going to set that aside, and then we're going to take this front piece, and there are 2 tabs. So you want to make sure that both tabs are in the right direction. Because if I flip this over, I wouldn't have anything to glue it with. So when you're using a solid paper, it really doesn't matter what side you use. but if you're using printed paper, it does whatever, you want to make sure that both tabs are on the right side. So this is on my left, so I'm going to make sure this tab is on my left. And I'm going to fold it down. There we go. And then I have 2 more bottom tabs. The full bottom tab and 2 smaller ones. And then again, I have score lines on the side to finish off that shape that we're doing. Okay, we are going to take tape and we're going to put tape along this edge only for just a minute. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to flip it over. And then you're going to put this piece on top of the tab right next to the score line. And match up the top and the bottom. Press it just like that. Okay, so now we're ready to decorate this. Before I finish folding it, I put my embellishment panels on. Whether it's the printed or the cardstock, you'll want to put them on. So you have 6 panels, side panels. There's your lid piece. You have 5. I'm so sorry. You have 5. Like that. And then you have the 2 smaller ones. So you'll want to make sure that this one that has the thumb hole is right at the top, and then the curve will match, and this one that doesn't have the thumb hole is the bottom. And you kind of have a little bit of a scene here, a winter scene. Okay, so I'm going to glue these on. You can tape them. Doesn't really matter. And I really do hope that this is showing up on the camera. I always say that, and then when I go back and watch it, it seems to do okay. So I think this is so pretty with the Christmas scene, but I also love just the solid colored ones too. And I was saying in my other video where I was making the actual ornament that for our family, we do an ornament exchange every year. And the rule is it has to be handmade. So my sisters, my nieces, some of the guys even join in, and we all make these ornaments. Last year I think we made 14 because everybody gets one. And then we exchange them and put them on our Christmas tree. And this year, I'm so excited to put them in one of these fancy boxes. I haven't decided which ornament I'm going to do yet, but I'm definitely going to use one of these boxes because I think that they are so pretty. Whoops, whoops, whoops. I slid that over. Okay, and then we have the lid. Okay, once those are on and they're dry, I usually let this sit for a minute, but I'm not going to because I want to get it done. We're going to flip it around and we're going to put glue on this tab and all of the tabs on the bottom except for the big one. So on the side tab, these 4 shorter ones, this smaller one, not on the big one. And you can glue this or tape it. On this larger one, I'm going to put it in 2 spots. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put it on the edge of this big flap. This is actually your bottom piece, and that's why you want the glue on the inside. Okay, now we'll take it and we're going to bring these two edges over, and again, this solid edge is going to go right along the scallop side, or excuse me, the scored line. And I don't want to lay it down because I've got tape on everything else and it'll all stick together. Okay, so once you've got your outside, it's like a tube, we're going to flip it over and we're going to start with the two side pieces nearest the top and fold those in, then these two, and then this longer piece, and then bring in the bottom. And before you stick it down, you want to make sure that everything is lining up and you've got that shape going. And then once that's right, you can go ahead and press it. You can flip it over and press the inside. If your hand won't fit in there, you can take a pencil or a ruler or something. The lid, I don't put glue or tape on these because you want to be able to open it and close it. If you were maybe mailing it, you might want to glue them closed, but then they'd get torn being opened. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to do the stand. So we have the bottom of the stand, which has no circles, and the top of the stand, which has the circle. We're going to take everything on both of those and fold them down. Just like that. And we're going to take the one with the circle and we're going to fold those down as well. I would glue this, but I'm not going to because, again, I don't want to take the time for everything to dry. So I'm going to put tape on the outside of the bottom piece, the one without a circle. And we're going to get tape on every tab. I'll tell you, I fiddled and fiddled and fiddled with this till I was really happy with how the bottom works. Okay, now we're going to take the top piece and we're going to take one tab and lay it over another tab on the bottom, right along the score line. So on this it's along the score line, and if you flip it over, the back is along the score line. And now we're just going to go around, and we want the top piece on the outside. And you might have to fiddle with it just a little to get everything to match up, but it does. And if you're having a hard time getting that to stick, you can stick your finger through that hole and press it. Next one. Next one, make sure the top is always on the outside. Just makes it look that much nicer. Plus you've got the tape on the back of that bottom piece. And when you're done, your seams are on the bottom, not on the top. Okay. And if you need to, you can stick that in and flatten those up. So there is your stand. You're just going to slide it right in there. This box does not have any acetate in the window because you want the ornament to kind of stand out if you've got if you're using a little bit of a bigger ornament. Okay, so once that's down in there, nice and flat, you can take the ornament, and of course I would normally have string or something on there, and you're going to just lay it right down in there. And then you're going to take your top piece and you're going to fold these tabs up. And the purpose of this star piece, I guess you'd call it, is to hold your the top of your bulb. And so instead of just folding everything up, every bulb is going to be a different weight. I just kind of push it up. I don't really fold it. And then you can slip this in here and bring your ball up, your ornament. And that is just going to hold that nice and tight. And now we can go ahead and close the lid. The lid is a little bit tight because I don't want it to pop open. So you're going to have to move it around a little bit to get all those pieces in there. Just like that. And there is, whoops, there is your box to hold your ornament. And it has a really pretty winter scene on it. There's some others, or you can do the same thing and do it out of cardstock, just cardstock, or if you have your own pattern paper that you want to use, you can do it that way as well. So there are our ornament boxes. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you will give at least one of these a try. Let me know in the comments below what you think of it. Thanks for joining me today. Please hit subscribe down below so you don't miss any of my videos. Give me a thumbs up and have a great day.